Ripple is reported to be inside the White House on Wednesday. Its own side is telling it to stay home. The argument going around, Washington had months, and the Senate left without finishing, so the reward for showing up is a photograph. Here is a page that says the meeting is happening. That is a news report, and it says so twice on its own face. Nobody in government has to announce this meeting. This is your XRP news desk. What the report does give us is specific. A room next to the door in the West Wing, Wednesday, with Ripple named inside and the CFTC's own chairman in the building. So who called it? What do they want out of it? And why is a chunk of this market furious about an invitation? Start with the furious part because it is the honest part. This ends when I open the agenda the CFTC published 2 days ago and read you what Thursday is about. One page and nobody has to vote on it. You want the XRP news desk today? Read off the pages instead of posts. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and tap the hype while you're down there. One newsroom's guest list for that room, a second newsroom published on its own, and the two don't match. Two newsrooms, two lists, and the middles disagree. I read both. One prints Gemini, NASDAQ, and the DTCC. The other prints A16Z and Chainlink. And it puts both crypto agencies' heads in the room, not one. I'm not going to pretend that this is one confirmed guest. It is not, but look at what survives both versions. Ripple is on both. The head of the CFTC is on both, and nobody anywhere is disputing that the meeting happens on Wednesday. Reporting carries us that far and no further, which is further than it sounds. Until this week, the only day anybody in XRP had for anything was a Senate vote that had already moved once, which is exactly where the argument tells Ripple to stay home begins. That is not somebody who hates XRP. That is somebody who has held it through a decade of nearly and has stopped believing the calendars. And on the calendar, he's right. I'm not going to argue with him about that because there is a hole in the middle of it, and the hole is the whole reason I sat down tonight. The argument assumes the only room that counts is the one with a vote in it. So let me tell you what that vote is. The one everybody has been waiting on since spring and what it actually needs to happen. Read that carefully because almost every version you've seen gets it wrong. September 15th does not put the Clarity Act to a vote. What the Senate decides that afternoon is whether it may open the debate at all. That decision needs 60. Republicans hold 53 votes. So on that page, the job is not done at all. The job is 7 senators from the other side by name, one at a time. That is what the man telling Ripple to stay home is actually angry about, and he has the better of it. Nobody has produced those 7. The Senate wants to recess without producing them. So without the useful question, it stops being when. It becomes who's outside crypto is asking for the law XRP is waited on. Because if the only people in Washington wanting a crypto rulebook are the crypto companies, 7 senators is a fantasy. 2 days ago, one of the largest banks in America answered that on camera.
Legislation and regulatory rules, and no one wants to see financial crimes being promoted. Fraud's already been a problem of late in the financial system, and this could promote it even further if you don't have good legislation. So we have not given up on pushing to get some improvements made to the bill, but we would like to see a good bill go through. I think it would be excellent for the system.
Translate the one piece of shop talk in there. Citigroup's objection is about rewards on digital dollars, pulling deposits out of small banks. She is protecting deposits, not attacking XRP. That is what makes the last line of that clip matter. A bank that competes directly with this technology went on television and said it would like the Clarity Act to pass. It has live objections to the text, and it's still lobbying to change it, which means the 7 senators are not being asked by crypto, they're being asked by the incumbent. An incumbent asking to regulate to write rules for its own competition is the most bullish shape in this history. Tell me in the comments whether you think this changes any of the 7 for XRP. Meanwhile, the XRP price sat through the whole argument doing nothing. The XRP price right now reads $1 across the last 24 hours. So that is one room Ripple does not control and one bank Ripple does not control. Here is the one day this week that Ripple owns outright. 10 weeks out on its own website, Ripple has a venue booked in Manhattan and 3 days of stage time. The printed speakers are already listed and it carries the chairman of the public exchange and a name your wife will recognize faster than she recognizes mine. Nobody has to vote for that to happen because nobody can postpone it in a cloakroom. Therefore, the picture that "don't go argument pates," a company begging at the door, does not survive contact with Ripple's own calendar. A company that needs Washington's permission to be relevant does not book the shed for 3 days in October. Wednesday costs Ripple one afternoon and costs XRP nothing at all, which leaves the one date this week where the argument itself gets published before it happens. I have that page. Open it with me. Look at what that page is. It is not a report about a meeting. It is the meeting's own agenda, published 2 days ago by the agency itself, naming what will be argued about before anybody argues it. Crypto regulation, the rulebook XRP trades under, is subject 1. It is streamed live on the government's own website. No ticket, no login. And the last line is the part I have not seen anybody quote all week. The public may file comments on it until August 27th. So count what XRP's rulebook actually gets over the next 10 weeks. A private room on Wednesday that no government page announces. A public session on Thursday with no printed agenda. A camera on a comment window. Ripple's own 3 days in New York in October and one Senate vote in September that needs 7 senators nobody has named. All 4 of those are on a calendar. 3 of them need no vote at all. That is the answer to "don't go." And it took the whole video to earn. Staying home does not slow the calendar down. And the calendar is no longer only the Senate. Same XRP ledger, but from Thursday, its rulebook is being written on a public agenda in front of the camera, instead of being behind a cloakroom door. That is the change of address, not a change in price. Ripple walks into the White House on Wednesday, holding a stronger hand than the people telling it to stay home believe. Tomorrow, I am on what the CFTC is writing about its trading rules for digital commodities does for the venues where XRP actually changes hands. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the hype button, stack facts, not fear, and I'll see you in the next one.